Good evening. This is the Lion of Legend, and welcome to Half. Did you watch any scary movies before heading to bed? I did not. Plus, even if that was the case, I don't think something as minuscule as that would cause such nightmare. What did you even dream about? A shiver ran down my spine as I recalled the unnerving imagery of that shapeless entity in my dream. If it had a face and a body, I can't remember it with precision. I don't know where to start. It was like staring into the depths of something that was fractured. Shit. The puzzled look he sent me made me rethink my choice of words. Well, it wasn't like I was sure myself of what I saw. Which means it's no use trying to explain it to him if I can't even interpret it myself. Forget it. No, do tell me. Damien leaned closer, our elbows bumped when he did. Okay, since you insist. I chuckled. For starters, I don't recall too many details. What I do recollect was something or someone in it, and even though I couldn't spot its face, I could feel its perusal fixed on me. Not just scrutinizing my exterior, but also my interior. I don't know how to explain it. I probably sound like I just lost my mind. I can't blame him for it if he thought so. Damien nodded slowly as he listened to my stupid dream. You mean like it was observing your fears, your aspirations, and all that abstract stuff? Yeah. I also saw a number. Well, more like numbers. I grabbed a pencil and scribbled down the digits I discerned in my dream. It was this. I squinted, scanning what I wrote. Now that I look at it like this, that's tomorrow's date. We reached that conclusion at the same time. The lack of sleep drained me both of energy and awakeness to realize it was a date until now. You got an important assignment tomorrow. Maybe that's what has got you all anxious. I shook my head. No important assignments do. Could it be the day of your death? Damien, you're not helping my case. I put my index finger on his lip. Shut up, will you? Sure, just don't call me in the wee hours of the morning, crying that you had another nightmare. Alright, zone out or listen to a nearby conversation. I guess we'll listen to a nearby conversation. That game is really scary. A snippet of a conversation from a group of girlfriends nearby caught my attention. No one has made it alive out of it. Oh yeah, how scary. Have you ever played it? That's what I thought. Don't speak without knowing what you're talking about. Lily, there are things that are obvious. You don't need to try them out to verify if it's real or not. Seriously, a demon who appears at 111? How original. Well, what would you do if I told you I planned to try it tonight, huh? Don't waste your time with that. I knew you were worried about me. Damien and I share the same clueless expression. Seems like you're not the only one experiencing weird things. Oh, shush. It's not like I'm going out of my way to experience them. What? Is this upside down? Yeah, I don't know. What the hell was that? Did you catch that? Catch what? What she just said. That didn't sound like any existing language in the world. I didn't hear her say anything else. I know I heard something. I shook my head, deciding it wasn't worth it. I barely got any wink of sleep that I'm hallucinating things. Although, it was loud and clear enough for it to be mere imagination. Lecture ended. At last, I can go home and catch up on some sleep. I felt refreshed when I woke up the next morning. I waited for Damien at the subway station so we could head home together to campus. Do you think Lily did it? Right. She probably did. I know her from school, and she would participate in such games. She'll make it out of it fine then. She's an expert. I suppose. You don't seem to believe in the supernatural. It's not that I don't believe, it's just... An elusive topic. What about you? Not really. We fell in silence again, and I took my phone out to entertain myself during the ride. Do you think she was being serious? Maybe she was just joking. It's not unheard of for people who seek attention with that stuff. I don't know. She didn't sound like she was joking. I lowered my head, lost in thought. Under normal circumstances, I would have brushed off this topic. However, I couldn't deny a perturbing feeling which settled deep in me. I don't feel like my usual self. I looked out the window. Sometimes I can't shake off the idea that something's watching us. I can't tell if it's mere paranoia or not, but I can't ignore it. Maybe this whole talk about the paranormal really is affecting you. Damien's gaze softened when it landed on me. But if you really are uneasy, you have me by your side. Let's stop talking about it. What are you having for lunch? Whatever's in store at the cafeteria. And that's gentle to my wallet. Damien was about to quip back with some joke, but it quickly got cut off when the train halted, and since I wasn't paying attention, I lost my balance. Our heads bumped thanks to the sudden movement. Ow, sorry. It's okay. You didn't cause me a concussion. We arrived early, so we had time to drink coffee. We walked together to the cafeteria, which was filled with students that were using their free time to study or have breakfast. So, no nightmares last night? Well, since I had a good night's rest, no. I didn't have another one. I should have guessed as much. My ringtone didn't blast my ears off from a call in the middle of the night. You're not going to let me live it down, huh? It was once. Good, because if that happened again, I was considering charging a nocturnal psychologist tariff. I shot him an incredulous look. You're so annoying. He laughed and drank his coffee. One of Lily's friends walked right behind us, busy on a call. Have you seen Lily? I haven't been able to contact her since yesterday after class. No? Ugh, so weird. She tapped on my shoulder. Hello? By any chance, have any of you seen Lily? I haven't. Me neither. Her frown deepened. We can offer help. Despite Lily and I being nothing more than mere lecture acquaintances, yesterday's conversation spooked me. I was worried about her, to be honest. Maybe this was an exaggeration on my part, but I had nothing to lose. Wait, I could help you look for her, if you'd like. Maybe we could find her sooner. Oh, sure. Let's walk around campus and see if we can spot her. Are you coming with us, Damien? I would have loved to give a hand, but my lecture's about to start. He apologized as he slinged his backpack over his shoulder. See you around. Okay, see you. Why was the campus outside desolated at this hour? Oftentimes, there's a lot more people running around and more noisy. Iris was on her phone, looking at her chat with Lily. I sent her a message yesterday, but she hasn't answered. She left me on scene. Maybe she's busy. Well, I might have not given it as much thought as now if only she didn't say some weird stuff yesterday. She doesn't even answer any calls. Both Mila and I have called her. Let's see. What was the last thing she talked about? She was acting rather erratic. She mentioned something has been observing her, but she didn't give more details. I brushed it off, thinking it had to do with her obsession with the paranormal. Yes, it all sounds strange. I hope she's okay. Maybe she got her phone stolen. This may sound bad, but I'd rather it be that than something else. I was intrigued by all this, but I couldn't keep walking in circles around campus with her. No sight of Lily. I was running out of time. My lecture was about to start. Thus, I had no choice but to say goodbye to Iris. It's okay. Thanks for offering to help. I headed into the restroom and checked my reflection, making sure my hair was properly combed and that I had no dry toothpaste on my clothes. Even if I had a good night's sleep, a dull, persistent ache throbbed at my temples. About to head into a cubicle, I turned around. I didn't hear the door open. When did she walk in? Hey, why did my hands become so cold suddenly? Hi. This was the first time we exchanged words outside of assignment-related topics. This morning sure is cold, isn't it? Yeah. The weather forecast didn't mention any sudden drops in temperature. How are you faring? I've endured worse. What about you? I can't feel my fingers. Matter of fact, I can't feel anything. Odd. Oh, make sure you put on more layers tomorrow then. Did you finish the assignment we have for today? Sort of. It's not gradable, it's just for practice. Don't bother with it. Why? The professor. He will die tonight. I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but I was uneasy from the start of this conversation. I opened my mouth, yet the words failed to come out. You heard it right. The hell kind of demon shit is this? A warped, deeper voice came from her. It sounded nothing like Lily. Oh, I didn't like that. I must make it out of here. I pushed the door open and darted out of there. A hand wrapped around my arm, pulling me back. Let me go! Damien jumped a bit at my scream. Various students fell silent and sent us a glare. After a few seconds, the hallway bustled with conversations again. It's just Damien. All of a sudden, despite the relief that came from realizing it was him and not whatever happened in the room yesterday, my eyesight went blurry with tears. You alright? You don't look well. The warmth from Damien's hand on my arm grounded me for a bit. My breath was labored, and a cold sweat fell down my back. I didn't want to cause more inconveniences to my friend. It's nothing. I'm using the upstairs restroom. Do you want me to go with you? Of course, I'll wait for you outside. Okay. As we went upstairs, he asked, by any chance, did you really not have a nightmare? No, I didn't. Why do you ask? I can tell you're stressed, you know. What kind of friend would I be if I didn't notice? I couldn't hold back from smiling at his words. After what I experienced, those words alleviated part of my nerves. I know it will cheer you up. I'll invite you to lunch. Alright. You can choose to. I'll leave that decision to you then. Indecisive as always, huh? The minute instance of respite Damien's conversations offered made me forget about Lily's words. Unfortunately, I continued to mull it over when said respite finished. There was no reasonable explanation for it. When I saw Lily, I was about to tell her that her friends were looking for her like crazy. I didn't expect her to start the conversation, which took me by surprise and made me forget about what I was about to do. I should go look for Mila or Lily and tell them I saw her, albeit in a questionable state of mind. As expected, these doubts didn't allow me to concentrate in class. At last, the lecture ended. Finally, we can have lunch. Damien stood up from his seat and outstretched his arms over his head, his hoodie revealing part of his abdomen. Come on, let's get moving. I'm starving. I really like this food truck. I come here after finals to reward myself. I took a glimpse at the menu. Hamburgers, hot dogs, tacos, sandwiches, the usual food you'd find in a food truck. Judging from the images, however, they were tasty. Furthermore, I don't think Damien would reward himself with insipid food. We went to the seating area with our order. I unwrapped my order and took a bite. It offered a pleasant range of flavors. I could tell the ingredients were fresh, too. Is it good? Mm-hmm. There was some ketchup on the corner of his lips, to which I grabbed a napkin and helped him wipe it off. You know, this kind of looks like a date. Damien took another bite of his hamburger and gulped it down. Would you like it to be? That's not what I said. He didn't pay it mind and shrugged, feasting on his hamburger. I pondered whether I should tell him about my conversation with Lily or not. You're still thinking about that nightmare? No, I'm not. Damien squinted, unconvinced. He definitely knew I wasn't my usual self. I'll stop, pushing for an answer. It's clear you don't want to talk about it. If you want to tell me about it, I'll be there. No, I'll tell you, it's just... I need to get my thoughts in order, that's it. I wasn't ready to reveal such abnormalities to him. It would have to wait. Damien unwrapped the donut he'd ordered. Do you want some? I nodded. He held it towards me, with a small glint of impishness in his eyes, daring me to take a bite out of it from his hand. Not a stranger to this situation with him, I rolled my eyes and leaned forward to chomp on it. Sweet. The powder offered a nice touch to it. While I chewed, a sudden slicing pain surged on my tongue. At first, I thought I had bitten myself, but it was unlike any pain I felt before. I coughed, splattering blood and something metallic on the table. Oh, what was that? Was that thing inside of the donut? Frantically, I looked at Damien, who, to my surprise, wasn't alarmed. Did it go through the wrong way? I blinked, and the carmine mess disappeared. No trace of the blood, or of the pain. There's no way I imagined that. I felt it. I saw it. Sorry, I must go. What? Where to? I'm not feeling well. I gotta go. I had no evidence to back it up, but something was watching me. Whatever it was, I'm sure it caused this to happen. I would go even as far to say everything that happened. The nightmare, the cryptic voices and messages, Lily's appearance in the restroom, and this recent incident. Why was this happening only to me? Why did Damien not notice the blood in the razor blade? When I arrived home, I checked my tongue in the mirror. It was complete. Not a single cut on it. Next day, albeit I was unsure of whether my abrupt leave yesterday irritated him or not, I tried opening the conversation. Hi. He glanced at me as he unpacked his laptop from his backpack. I fucked up, didn't I? You didn't tell me if you liked the food, although, judging by how you didn't leave a single crumb, I guess it was to your liking. A wave of relief washed over me. It was. Did you not like the donut, though? That. Don't worry about it. With the way you fled yesterday, I thought it was so bad you hated me because of it. I assure you, it had nothing to do with the donuts. I was aware that he suspected something wasn't right, but thankfully didn't push for an answer. We sat in our usual places, next to each other. Lily's dead. I spoke with her mom because I was worried about her. They found her dead yesterday morning. The duo of friends whispered amongst themselves. That couldn't be true. I spoke with Lily yesterday. What was going on? You had another awful night, didn't you? Is it that obvious? Well, if it's not for those dark circles under your eyes and your sleepy face, I don't know what else could be it. I closed my eyes for a few seconds, felt myself nod twice, and my surroundings darkened. Whoa, I think I missed something here. Damien grabbed my shoulders and shook me, dragging me back to consciousness. Uh-huh. I think you blacked out for a few seconds and... He pointed at my notebook. Where did those come from? Oh, we are so possessed. You wrote them while you were unconscious. He looked just as dismayed as I was. Or maybe more. You've been acting strange these last days. You haven't been yourself. At my silence, he frowned. Hey, listen to me. It's okay. There was no reasonable explanation for this. I faintly noticed the door opening and someone walking in. It was the Vice Dean. What was he doing here? Good morning. We're sorry this will be the first news you'll hear today, but our faculty regrets to inform you that Professor Gutierrez passed away yesterday. We were informed today. My eyes darted immediately to the scribbles on the page. I couldn't finish listening to the explanation as my whole body tensed upon the realization that yesterday's date was there. The Lily I met in the restroom was something else. We understand that this news may be difficult to process. You may return home or remain on campus if needed. Though before leaving, remember today we're holding an important meeting in Building 4B. It's mandatory. Building 4B? I don't recall ever hearing about that building. Before they had a chance to leave, I hurried to intercept Lily's friends. Iris, who remembered I had given a hand, didn't send me a wary look like Mila did. Is it about Lily? Yes. She's no longer with us here. I managed to contact her mom, and she told me that they found her dead in her room. I definitely shouldn't reveal that I saw her yesterday. Why the sudden interest in Lily? She helped me look for her, don't worry. I'm not going to lie, at first I thought she had sneaked away with a boyfriend. But we're her bestest of friends. Lily would have told us about him. Lily yaps a lot, and she never hides anything from us. Did she behave differently from how she usually is? Both girls nodded. Yeah, she would say some creepy stuff too, like something about feeling followed and seeing shadows, horror movie type things. And she said that even if something was following her, she admitted she couldn't turn away from it because it was the sole thing that really understood her. She never specified what or who it was or how it looked. They fell silent in contemplation, just like I did. Some of these I've experienced these past days, except that bizarre sensation of feeling understood by that thing. Was I condemned to meet the same fate as her? I excused myself from the pair and went back to where I left my stuff on the table. I didn't expect Damien to still be there. I thought he had left like the rest. I know I said I wasn't going to pester you for answers, but given what I just saw, I think you should tell me. It's nothing, I told you. I'm aware you did. It's nothing, I'm okay. It's all you've said to me. University's just been stressful. This. He picked up the notebook on the page where I scribbled weird things while I was unconscious. Isn't caused by assignments and exams. You can't keep feigning you're okay after your unusual behavior. Overwhelmed by resignedness, he tossed the notebook on the table. I can't grasp what you're going through, but I can't keep on turning a blind eye and pretend you're as alright as you claim to be. You can't help me. I knew what came next, and thus, I fled before giving him a chance to probe further. Even if I confess what I've been seeing, he can't do anything about it. It's obvious the fact that there's something beyond our comprehension at play here, something otherworldly. What could he, or me, or us do to fight it? I ran around campus, asking for directions towards that building where the meeting was about to happen. To no avail. The students I asked were clueless about where it was. There it is. I pushed the door open. What an unusual hallway. It's empty. Did I come here too early? There's someone there. Why is this hallway so unusually long? I keep walking, and that person keeps getting further away. For some reason, I couldn't turn around. Even if my logic told me there's something wrong going on here, I was drawn to the stairs to descend them, and something was calling to me. I made it down the stairs. Something fell. A pocket watch. I kneeled to pick it up. The scent of debris overflowed in the air, along with copper and smoke. In my vision, my chest stung, and a metal rod pierced my heart. I dropped the pocket watch. The metal left a burning sensation in my palm. No one's here except me. As if awoken from a long dream, I came back to my senses and realized the imminent danger that approached. Shit, Damien was in peril. One of the dates that I wrote down in the notebook corresponded to his death. Why the sudden asseveration with which I comprehended this was beyond me. But I had to trust my gut feeling in this. I needed to prevent it. I ran upstairs, but I was back in front of the door that led me to this empty room. No doubts left. My reality as I lived through it was crumbling at my feet. There was no other way around this. I had to give it a try. Pushing the apparent exit open and, despite the lack of any noises denoting a second presence behind me, I knew I had to leave this place as fast as I could. With my shoulder against the door, it didn't budge. A pit formed in my stomach when I heard distant footsteps, prompting me to joggle the door in a desperate attempt to force it. Please, 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 please. The sound of the lock clicking open was music to my ears, and I sprinted out without a second thought. No time to idle. This was urgent. I ignored the weird looks I got from the other students until one bumped his shoulder into mine. Since I was in a rush, I didn't bother looking at him. You're heading straight to where I want you. That prompted me to an abrupt stop, and I turned around to face the stranger. Everyone was on their own matters, chatting on their cell phones. However, that voice, this wasn't the first time I heard it. When I met Lily in the restroom, before the vice dean walked away, and now, whoever was behind this had just walked past me. We're gonna just go find Damien. I won't let that thing intimidate me. I must find Damien and warn him. I approached other students I recognized and asked them if they had seen him. There. She pointed at that one building that was undergoing modifications. It didn't make sense for him to be there. Are you sure that was him? Why would he go there? Mila shrugged. I didn't see him go inside, he just passed by there. I lost track of him after he turned the corner. Okay, thanks. I wasn't convinced myself about her affirmation. I was more inclined to think she confused Damien with someone else. I crossed the courtyard, following the path that Damien probably used. A powerful gust of wind made the building howl at my side, like a ghoulish-pained croak. The clock's ticking, and I'm here gaping at a building. As I was about to give a step forward, a sharp pain bore into my shoulder in a diagonal direction. The beginning of the metal stuck out of my shoulder, but I could feel its end protruding from my back. It pierced bone, muscle, and nerves, igniting a profound anguish through everything it penetrated. I fell to my knees and coughed. Blood splattered onto the ground, and my vision grew blurry. It was difficult to breathe, and I could barely concentrate on what nearby students were blurting, some hands trying to help me get up. Do you want to die here? No one else but me was aware of its presence. Unrelenting, unperturbed by the crowd gathering around us. I need you alive. I had seen it before. However, at the same time, I got no recollection of when or if it was real. The thing crouched and placed its hand on my chest. Not even my voice could make it out of my throat. His touch ignited something from within. Distress. It scalded at my heart, my chest. It was burning unlike anything I had experienced before. It hurts, doesn't it? I gasped for air, regaining some control of my body. What are you doing to me? I'm making you pay. You don't remember it, but you owe me. And finally that day has come. I'm retrieving what's mine. I couldn't differentiate if the darkness enveloping me was caused by me fading out of consciousness, or if it was its doing. The group of students became shapeless shadows merging and disappearing out of my sight, as the blue sky above enshrouded in absolute gloom, undistinguishable from staring into a pitch-black night. However, I fought back. I fought back against pain, its suffocating presence, against losing consciousness. What a sight to behold. Even now you struggle. Adorable. What you're trying to do is pointless, you see. Your fate's been sealed from the beginning, you fragile thing. Whatever it is you want from me. I took a sharp inhale. I'm not giving it to you. Is your brain running out of air already? I said your fate's been sealed, even before you were a speck of dust. There's no use in fighting back. Kill me. I'd rather die than give you what you want. If anything, its attitude fueled my determination to frustrate its plans. I couldn't care less what it was looking for in me, or from me. All I knew was that I refused to concede. After I spat out my words, the searing pain across my body intensified. I could barely distinguish its face from the tears clouding my eyes. It was painful. Everything was. I could go on like this for eternity. Your life is hanging by a thread, and the thread is me. Otherwise, you'd be dead. What the fuck are you waiting for then? Damien. Was that the name of your friend? Right. His life is hanging by a thread too, all because of your decisions. I was about to save him, but with his last breath, he asked me to save you first. As much as I hated it, that caught my attention. No, he did not ask. He implored it. Flesh torn asunder and fractured. He used his remaining 9 heartbeats to save you first. That can't be. Your friend didn't hesitate to beg for your life. You, however, are keen on dying. Will you really scorn his prayer? But if he's dead, then... Misery surged in my heart at the idea of Damien being long gone. To say I regretted how our last exchange happened was an understatement. I knew I had to be honest with him, and to not keep pushing him away, but I just didn't know how to process this, how I could unveil the truth. Whether what this thing said was true or not, I didn't want to take any chances. If I give you what I owe you, could you bring him back to life? Bringing the dead back. It wouldn't be the first time I do that. Unfortunately, for you, what you owe me is not as precious as you think it is. Not as valuable as bringing someone back to life in exchange. You'll have to offer something more. More? To start with, I don't even know what it was about to take away from me. Yet, it asked for something more. What exactly are you taking away from me? I wouldn't call it taking. If anything, I am the one giving. A vessel. That is what you'll be for me. Exactly what entailed such thing. It didn't provide further explanation. Instead, its hand hovered over my chest, and a reddish-black gleam exuded from it. For a split second, the anguish gushing through my body concentrated on my chest. This pain had been, by far, the worst one. I screamed until my throat gave out, and when it finally ended, I couldn't stop sobbing. He closed his hand, and the gleam disappeared. For Damien, what will you give me? I don't know. I guess my body? I was at a loss here. It wasn't like the constant pain made it easier for me to think thoroughly. Funny answer. Every single fiber of your being is mine already. Yeah, that's true. Half of your life. Give me half of it. That way, I can give it to Damien, and that way, he can live for another 6? I don't even know. Something years? Yes, take it. If it's for him, take away all the years needed and give them to him. His beautiful face twisted with a nauseated look. I couldn't quite understand what it muttered next. All I could make out of the situation was my consciousness slipping away from me. My head throbbed when I woke up. Drenched in sweat, I jolted out of the bed and spun around slowly in search of that thing. No, it wasn't a dream. None of it. It was ridiculous to consider that as an option at this point. I ran to the mirror and pulled my shirt up. My heart dropped into a bottomless pit when the evidence of that occurrence proved to be real. An eerie mark was right there, in the middle of my chest, slightly to the left of where our heart is. My hands trembled as I followed the lines with my gaze. It was the first time I saw this type of symbol. I had no idea what it meant, or where its origin could be from. Damien. Where was Damien? I needed to check he was all right. I called him and, clutching my chest where the mark was, I waited for his answer. Hey, what is it? Another nightmare? Tears welled up in my eyes. Damien. I sniffled and dried my tears with the back of my hand. A wave of relief made the pain I endured seem far away. Are you crying? Was the nightmare that bad? I tried to calm myself, but the moment I took a breath in to try and do that, a small squeak betrayed me. Do you want me to go to your place? No, it's okay. Are you sure? Your place is not far from mine. I could keep you company if that eases your anxiety. I'm sure. It'd only make me feel worse to make you come all the way here in the middle of the night. Sorry for spooking you. Just hearing your voice relaxed me. I can't even remember what the nightmare was about. He softly laughed. If you say so. Good night. After I pressed the red button to close the call, I stared at the screen for a moment, still processing what happened. Never, not even in my wildest dreams, would I have imagined this happening to me. The mark on my chest was proof that it was no nightmare, as much as I wanted it to be. That demon, what exactly does he want from me? And what shape or form am I, a mere human, of use to it? What exactly did I give to it? I hugged my pillow and buried my face in it. My thoughts jumped in every direction, including about Damien and what it meant for him to have half my life. What it meant for us. Would he be able to see that thing too? Would it torment him as much as it had done to me? I shouldn't have refused Damien's proposal to come here. I longed for nothing more than to hold him. These thoughts troubled me for the rest of the night. They made me toss and turn in my bed. I barely managed a wink of sleep. At our usual place of meeting, when he was within reach, I didn't hesitate to greet him with a hug. Oh. His arms remained in place at first, but then he wrapped them around me. I closed my eyes and rested my ear on his chest, where he was warm, and I could hear his steady heartbeats. The subtle movement of his chest rising and falling with each breath was a comforting reminder that he was, in fact, here. I'm not sure what cologne he used, but it was pleasant too. Not an overpowering scent, but consoling. Why so affectionate? Did you miss me that much? We just saw each other yesterday. He placed his hands on my shoulders and pushed me a little to take a glance at my face. Why are you... Is it because of the nightmare? Oh, how pathetic I am. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing. Geez, sorry for scaring you twice. I laughed to play it off, but failed. It went out a little broken. And I'm sorry too for what happened yesterday. I shouldn't have left like that. He tilted his head a little. What happened yesterday? I mean, When you asked me what was wrong after I fainted, and I ran away. He stepped closer, concerned. You fainted yesterday? When? I opened my mouth again to answer, but it dawned upon me the possibility that his memories were altered. At least, those brief moments before that thing appeared. Well, yes, during class. I fidgeted with the string of my hoodie. Was it in the one we shared? No, it can't be. You were sitting next to me, I would have noticed. No, it was before that. We were at different lectures. I see. What did you do after that? Did anyone help you? Yes. Somebody from the lecture did. He said I was unconscious just for a minute or so. Noticing his worried expression, I questioned whether it was wise to partially explain what happened yesterday. I think it's just stress. I feel better today. Damien wasn't convinced, but didn't demand more explanations. This was disastrous. Despite walking next to him, the fact we didn't share the first lecture stressed me a bit. Under normal circumstances, this wouldn't be an issue for me, but considering that I was about to lose my closest friend, being 1 second apart from him made me anxious. Unfortunately, I don't think we can have lunch together today. I've got to stay with my group for a project. Immediate metaphorical gut punch. Why precisely today? Hey, don't make that face. We can leave together as usual. If, by any chance, you finish your project thing earlier, text me. Okay? Sure. Will do. I watched them leave before I headed myself to class. I couldn't stop checking my phone on the way there. Resigned, I locked my phone and left it on the table. When I was going to fish into my backpack for my laptop, without meaning to, I pushed my phone off the table and leaned down to pick it up. However, not without first banging my head against the edge of the table. Ow. I rubbed my forehead in pain. When I looked up, someone had picked up my phone and held it for me. You okay? You dropped this. Was he a new student? I don't think I've ever seen him before. Is there something on my face? I looked at his hand still open with my phone on it, and then back to his face. Yes, no, thank you. Flustered, I retrieved my device and tried to act normal. We'll try to start a conversation. No, I've got to know more. Sorry, I don't think I've seen you before. Are you new here? Did I say something I shouldn't have? Yes, it's my first time here. Nice to meet you. My name is Elias. He extended his hand for me to shake, and as I was about to, the mark on my chest sizzled. I scrunched my face in pain and clenched my chest, gritting my teeth as I waited for it to calm down. This was weird. What happened? Sudden chest pain? I'm not sure. I shot him an apologetic glance, and he simply smiled before he turned his attention again to the front. At some point in the class, I expected the professor to mention something about the new student or to introduce him, yet that never happened. It would have been easier to get used to this guy's presence if the professor did, especially at this moment when we were about to team up for an assignment. It wasn't my decision. The professor told us to work with whom we had it our right. I'll cover the first 5 points of the assignment. You can work on the remaining points. Is that all right with you? Yes, I can do that. I was thinking we could take some minutes during lunch to advance with the research. No, I can't do that. I need to make sure Damien was okay. I was aware that butting into his group discussion would be bad manners, so just checking in on him from a distance would be good enough. Perhaps another day. The deadline is next week Friday. We can take it easy, at least for today. The deadline is decent, but the workload is quite heavy. The sooner we start with it, the more time we have to revise it before we submit it. Don't you think? My phone vibrated on the table, and I rushed to check if it was Damien. Thank God it was him. We can have lunch together after all. His group managed to complete what was needed to be done for the day. Ahem. Oh, right. He was waiting for a response. What about tomorrow? I've got something to do, and I won't be able to be present. Sure. I rushed out as soon as the class ended and waited for Damien outside. I leaned against the wall, focused on the exit. Excuse me. Eek! My heart almost jumped out of my chest. This guy spooked me. What is it? With a polite smile, he lifted my backpack into view. You left this behind. I exhaled an embarrassed laugh and received my belongings back. Jeez, my head really was in the clouds today. I think it'll be this way until I'm sure that demon won't hurt Damien again. I wondered if I could have been given the chance to bargain with him and demand, in exchange, for it not to hurt or protect him. Hey, who's this? Damien. I looked back at the guy who stood there with his courteous stance and gentle eyes. Oh, this is just a classmate. I remained in silence for a second, hoping that Elias would introduce himself. His name's Elias. To avoid further awkwardness, I had to do it instead. Nice to meet you. I was returning her backpack. She left the classroom in a hurry. What's your name? Elias offered his hand. I'm Damien. Damien shook it. Oh, so you're that guy. Damien clenched his jaw. When I first arrived here, some students warned me about a certain Damien who had a rough past. For some reason, your peers seem to not trust you a lot. Why is that? Doesn't matter. Don't take me wrong. To jest wasn't my intention. My question came from a place of wanting to comprehend. My answer remains the same. Elias wasn't bothered or embarrassed one bit. Instead, he offered a curt smile and turned to me again. Be more careful next time, yes? Maybe you're forgetful because you fainted yesterday. Huh? How did he know that? Oh, was this the guy you mentioned earlier? I bet it is, but I'm gonna say no. I have an odd feeling that this guy might be the demon. Of course it wasn't him. I met him about an hour ago. Plus, I totally made up that I lost consciousness while he wasn't close. Most importantly, how do you know I fainted yesterday? Was he following me? Oh, no. I was there when it happened. That's it. Now, if I may, I'll take my leave. Remember to meet me tomorrow at lunch in the library to start with the assignment. I'll take my leave, and please don't forget we're going to start with our work tomorrow in the library. I noticed a shift in Damien's mood after this exchange. Damien and I had known each other since we were children, but I had to move to another country because of my dad's job. It would be a lie to say that, during that time we didn't see each other, I didn't muse about his whereabouts. When I came back here, a part of me was hoping we would meet again. We had many fond memories as children. Peers who I also knew from my childhood warned me about Damien, that he had changed, that he had strayed into dangerous relationships. I refused to believe that. How could that gentle boy stray into such things? I remember when we reunited. It was while I was in line in the cafeteria. I didn't feel any danger. My senses didn't scream to run the other way, or anything. His appearance and presence felt natural. I could tell it was a sensitive topic for him, so I never asked him to reveal that phase of his life. Although, I sometimes wonder if I really know him. What are you thinking about? Huh? You've been staring at your food for 5 minutes straight. It's nothing. I was reminiscing about our childhood. What exactly are you reminiscing about? That time we rode a bike down the street. We nearly crashed into a parked car. It was your idea. I would always get roped into your occurrences. You should have said no, you know. You were a bad influence back then. Remember when I tried to sneak you into my room? My parents were fuming. I still get chills when I remember it. I could hear your father scolding from the street. I couldn't hold back from smiling at the memory. It was done with good intentions, you know? Me trying to sneak you into my room, I mean. I remember you feared going back home because your parents always fought. Yeah. I perked up with an idea. What if we try to have that sleepover now that we don't have any parents after us? Really? I nodded eagerly. Not only would I get to spend more time with them, but I would also get to sleep better knowing that, if anything happened, I'd be there to help. When would you like to have that sleepover happen? What about tonight? I just need to tidy up my apartment a bit before you arrive. Oh, I would have liked to, but since you haven't been feeling well lately, I don't want you to exert too much. It's no biggie. Listen, let's do it tomorrow. I'll clean up my apartment when I return, and tomorrow we leave together. Well, I say that as if we don't usually do that. But I mean, we head together to my apartment right after classes. How does that sound? What about your part-time job? You know my uncle's boss. I'm sure I can convince him to let me roam free just this once. Calm down, calm down. I can't push it anymore, or it'll be too weird or creepy. Okay. I would have preferred it to be tonight, but there's a limit before he realizes I'm paranoid. Tomorrow, then. The day went on as usual, nothing out of the ordinary. I waved hi to Mila and Iris when we saw each other in the hallways. Every now and then, I would think about Lily and what actually happened to her. Was she under the command of that demon, or did she truly die? The time to part ways came when we left the station. I'll buy the snacks, and what we'll have for dinner. What you want to watch, whether we marathon movies or a series, is up to you. Careful. Damien grabbed my arm in time, a car flying past a second after. I didn't notice the traffic light was red for pedestrians. Seriously. We waited for the light to turn green, and we crossed the street. Watch where you're going, please. Maybe you should take a day off and either rest or go to the doctor to get yourself checked. I'm worried about you. Yes, yes. Promise I will go to the doctor. I wasn't easy. I didn't want to say goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. Wait. I grabbed his arm, with a grip that might have been harder than I intended. Damien looked at me over his shoulder, expectant. I stepped closer and hugged him a second time today. I lost count of how long I embraced him, but let go shortly after realizing people were staring at us. He cleared his throat. You didn't even hug me for that long after reuniting, he added with a small laugh. You done? Or are you going to cling to me for the rest of the day? He was teasing now. No, that's enough, you can. I gulped, saying it was difficult. You can leave. Damien was amused by the situation and waved one last bye before turning around and heading towards his destination. When I came back home, I splashed my face with water and bore my eyes onto my reflection, not believing how clingy I'd been the whole day. Idiot, idiot, idiot. I palmed my forehead, embarrassed. He was about to get the wrong idea. I'm thankful that we trust each other, and despite the years we didn't speak, that sense of mutual affection hasn't died down. Wait, affection? No, it would be better described as friendship. Friends can love each other. Whatever, it's pointless to muse on this. I lay down on my bed. Despite being hungry, I was exhausted and didn't feel like cooking anything, not even to order something. I rested my head on the pillow, mind blank as I gaped at the ceiling like it was about to give me the answer to my troubles, and drifted into sleep without meaning to. Amidst the silent hours of midnight, I woke up. A constant tapping on my window pulled me out of my rest. I tried to ignore it, but it was futile. I sat up and approached it to see what it was. What's a blackbird doing here? Shouldn't it be sleeping? I pushed the window open and shooed it. In response, the bird avoided my hand and perched again on the windowsill. With its beady eyes, it stared at me, as if mocking me. For a second time, I tried to scare it away to no avail. Then a third, a fourth. Are you going to peck against the window for the rest of the night? The sky lit up with distant thunder. A strong gust of wind made its way into the room, flailing my hair about. Seeing as it was about to rain, I closed the window, or at least tried to. The bird screeched in a way I've never heard a bird do, and began to attack me, thrashing its wings against my face, pecking me, and trying to scratch me with its long nails. What the stupid bird? The floor quacked, following by an eardrum-shattering outburst in the distance. The lightning and thunder that appeared far away was here, clouds enshrouding the sky with an ominous presence. The storm set the sky alight with red hues. The constant tremble of the earth made me lose my footing. A pair of golden eyes, glowering at me in the middle of my obscured room, was the first thing that welcomed me back into reality, out of the nightmare. I screamed and scrambled away, lost in terror. Delighted by my reaction, the figure mocked me with a hearty laugh. Was it too much? I was merely looking into your memories. The nightmare is simply a casualty. Didn't I give you what you sought? Why are you still tormenting me? I never stated I would leave after receiving it. You're far from basking in that freedom you seek, if it ever happens. What do I need to do for you to leave me alone? There's nothing to be done. I'll torture you until you die, if I ever feel like letting you reach that end. To stare at it with hatred was all I could do. I was powerless, at its mercy, and I despised it. There's a long way to go, for both of us. I decided to visit you tonight, to check on that mark. It pressed its pointer finger into the mark. The pain that surged immediately paralyzed me. After you're done with me, what will you do? Will I meet the same fate as Lily? Lily? I don't recall that name. Don't play dumb. The game she played, her descent to madness, her disappearance or death, those were your doing, weren't they? The mark engraved in my skin burned stronger. I felt like my skin was getting charred. Truly, what nonsense are you babbling about? A game? I don't have time for that. He retracted his hand. You're my vessel. I'm using you as an anchor. That's it. For now. While I was away, I sensed fluctuations in your being, your anxiety, the loss of energy, the dread. I can detect those. And I don't like one bit that human you tag along with, the mortal I saved for you. Don't rope Damien into this. The living beings that dwell in this place are the least of my concern. No one will escape from the future. Plus, half of his life is linked to you. It's inevitable he'll get dragged into the grime. Who are you, really? I could tell you, but will you make any sense of it? Why did I even think it would give a direct answer? It wasn't about to reveal important information like that, of course. I got to see what I came here for. There's no reason for me to linger. The corner of the bed dipped when it placed its knee on it, eyes fixed on me. I wanted to move away when his hand inched closer to my face, but an invisible force ordained me to remain still. Its icy fingertips came in contact with my face as it covered my eyes with its palm, and, by instinct, I closed them. When I opened them, it was gone. The loss of his presence made the room feel lighter and more breathable, prompting me to sigh in relief. It was momentary, I knew it, before it decides to return and torment me. This won't be the last time I see it, much to my dismay. Is there really nothing I can do? I should start investigating on my own everything related to demons, maybe even search for help from a priest. Should I dedicate my life fully to religion now? I didn't know where to start. It's been only my second meeting with it, and I can't stand it. I must find a way to free myself. The events of this night left me sleepless. There was no way I could go back to Dreamland after this. The way it spoke denoted an obvious certainty in whichever plans it had in mind. I looked longingly at the window. It was still dark outside. Can't sunrise come sooner? Given I couldn't go back to sleep, I tried to be productive by researching online about books that could provide further insights about demons and angels. If demons exist, angels do too, right? Some of those I got access to through a digital library, but others I suspect I'll need a physical library for. The sun was about to rise. I grabbed my phone and typed. I'm craving for something home-cooked rather than ordering food. I sent those messages and swung my legs out of bed, about to go take a shower to start the day. By the time I made it back, he texted me back with, "I think I've got ingredients we can make a pizza with." I did like the sound of that. Alright, I am going to save here, as that is all the time I have for this game tonight. I'm not sure how far we are into this first chapter, but I do know that right now, chapter 1 and 2 have been completed. So I guess maybe it's bold for me to assume that we're even into chapter 2 yet. I'm really not sure. But this is interesting. I'm going to assume here that Damien and the demon are potential love interests. And I'm theorizing that Elias is the demon, but I could be wrong. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Perhaps in the very near future, we will get a further understanding of how this whole demonic situation is working. Why are we being tethered to this demon? Why are they not like Damien? Or maybe it's because maybe he's just a yandere and that's just how it works, right? Maybe I already answered my own question. Maybe I shouldn't even ask that question because of course, right? That's what I always deal with. Pretty yandere boys. Can never get away from them. That all being said, if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a like, leave a comment, share the video, perhaps even subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next video. So have a good night.